So when the report came out about the three Suns, finalists in terms of candidates, it was Kevin Young, it was Doc Rivers, and it was Frank Vogel. When that report came out, Frank Vogel sort of stood out to me a little bit. And I think it's just because of his experience, which we are going to go over later. But he stood out. And I think it was one of the Woj or Shams or Chris Haynes, because I think Shams came out with a report first saying, here's a whole bunch of coaches that the Suns are interviewing. And I think Woj tweeted out the same thing and said, oh, yeah, here's Frank Vogel's name, too, pretty much. He added Frank Vogel's name in his list of candidates. And that stood out to me. And then again, when we found out the three final candidates, Frank Vogel's name was still there. And then I think maybe like an hour before this news broke, Doc Rivers' name was off the list. Apparently he got himself out of the candidacy or whatever you want to call it. So that's kind of just my initial reaction, my initial thoughts. And speaking of my overall reaction here, as I mentioned before in a recent video, everyone is going to become a coaching expert all of a sudden. I can already see it in the chat. I've seen it on Twitter already. Everyone's going to overreact to this coaching hire. It's either going to be a disaster, or it's going to be the best hiring ever, or it's going to be somewhere in the middle. I'm staying optimistic, you guys. I believe in this Phoenix Suns team. I believe in our new owner, Matt Ishbia, and the front office and James Jones. I believe in this team. And despite what a certain radio person in Arizona has been saying about Devin Booker being silent and should Suns fans be worried, you guys probably know who I'm talking about. I'm pretty sure that Devin Booker still has his phone. And even if it was done over a text message, I'm pretty sure that Matt Ishbia and James Jones, etc., the front office, at least sent a text message and said, hey, we're hiring Frank Vogel. You down? And I'm sure they did the same thing to Kevin Durant. And another first thought that I thought immediately was Frank Vogel's won a championship. And we're going to go over that in a minute. Frank Vogel's won a championship. Been to the finals before. He's coached superstars before. And I think I'm okay with this hiring. I really do. And we're going to talk about Kevin Young in a minute. And I understand why some Suns fans probably wanted Kevin Young. And don't get me wrong, I would have been open for it too, I would have been down. And apparently, again, we're all going to go over this in a minute. There's a lot to kind of unpack here and to talk about. Apparently, Kevin Young, now I don't know if this is 100% true. Someone fact check me on this. Apparently, Kevin Young has like the option to still stay on this coaching staff. My words are not working. Guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I am so tired right now. Well, not really tired. I just woke up like as this news broke, and I drank some coffee and I had a light breakfast. So my words aren't, my brain is not fully here right now. But anyways, so you'll probably see me wake up a lot throughout the show and be 100% by the end of the show. But what I'm trying to say is apparently Kevin Young can stay on, and that's a whole conversation, in itself. And I really hope Kevin Young gets a job in the future. I really do. And if we want to if Frank Vogel and James Jones and Matt Ishbia, et cetera, the front office want to keep Kevin Young on, that's great. Why not? I mean, you have somebody that obviously has been on this team for the last few years, loves Devin Booker and works with Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and all them. So it would be good for that reason, and plus all the experience that Kevin Young brings with Frank Vogel.
I'm sure you guys have heard by now, but the Phoenix Suns are keeping associate head coach Kevin Young on new head coach Frank Vogel's staff for the Phoenix Suns, and this deal will make Kevin Young the league's highest paid assistant, sources tell ESPN. The Phoenix Suns were determined to keep Kevin Young on Frank Vogel's staff and made a significant commitment to keep him from following Monty Williams on the Detroit Pistons. And as a lot of people are saying, you guys, it is a win-win. I'm very happy for Kevin Young. And as Flex from Jersey says, now it's time to reconstruct the roster around Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And John Gambo from Arizona Sports doesn't need me to defend him, but yeah, he called it again. So as always, you guys, let me know your thoughts, comments, and opinions down below. Are there any other coaches out there that you want the Suns to hire? Thank you so much for watching, guys.
There also is the scenario, and I talked about this before in a video, and in past live shows, that to my knowledge, again, someone fact check me if I'm wrong here, now it's Frank Vogel and James Jones and all them. Now they, Frank Vogel can bring on his guys or women, whoever he decides to bring on. Hire Becky Hammon, by the way, even though she's doing great over in the WNBA. Yeah, he can bring on his coaching staff. So that's really the next steps. Obviously, we're going to get more details about this, and then we're going to get the press conference. Then probably in the next few weeks, I would assume, maybe over the next month, that's when we'll see. Like, we already had one assistant coach report. Now, I don't think it's 100% official, but we're going to start seeing some assistant coaches get hired soon. And speaking of that, this is just sort of my initial reaction, everybody. I know my thoughts are all over the place right now.
Much later.
And we will get you guys on. So first, we are going to bring on Andrew, he's been on the show a couple times before. Very nice guy, big Suns fan. So, Andrew, can you hear me, my friend?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
How's it going, man? What's going on? Talk to me here.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. Definitely, I didn't expect to get Vogel. I thought either Kevin Young or someone else, but it definitely makes sense. I think Frank Vogel does fit with Kevin Durant's philosophy in the system. Because
Absolutely.
we saw a lot of defensive plays KD has made. It's unbelievable. It's insane. So.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I'm just going to ask you a spontaneous question. Do you agree with the fact that we now need to build this roster around KD, Book, Vogel? Would you say you agree with that, or what's your opinion? I guess what I'm asking is, what's your opinion on the offseason for the Suns in general?
It's definitely been very quiet, but I would have to wait because Vogel just got here. He would need to decide which role players he wants to keep.
Facts.
So obviously we signed Ross and Baisley. I don't know if one of those players is staying. Well, about TJ Warren, who knows? I think he wants Warren to stay or go, but I think he should keep TJ Warren. But I know Monty didn't use him much during our playoff run, but
no, I agree with you. I definitely agree with TJ Warren. I want to see TJ stay and get more run, and I hope Frank Vogel does that. You are kind of right though. Like, it is still very early in the off season, because again, obviously the finals are still going on. There's other teams out there that have certain decisions that could impact the off season. You know what I mean? But yeah, any final thoughts, man? Because I got someone else waiting in the wings here. You got any final thoughts?
Yeah, after watching the Heat and Denver series, well, I watched the highlights, but I didn't watch the game because I was at church yesterday.
Well, it's sort of game was pretty much over,
I think, because like the Heat, like even Jim Butler said that he wished he'd done something different. The Nuggets didn't even did that much to even like control most of the game.
Yeah,
if I recall it.
Well, I was saying, like, even though they only won by like 10 or 11 or whatever it was, the Nuggets pretty much had big control over that. I did watch a little bit of that game, but yeah. But Andrew, I appreciate you being on here, man. Thanks for your positivity and kindness. Thanks for your thoughts, man. And we'll have to get you back on sometime soon, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
All right, man. Have a good one. All right, bringing on next, we're going to bring on someone who's also been on this channel before, the AZ Sports Corner. What's going on?
What's up, Mother Flowers?
How's it going?
Dude, I like this hire I'm not like, oh my God, like it's so amazing, but I think he fits like exactly what we need right now.
Preach.
You guys talk about Denver. Obviously, going forward, Denver's going to be a problem and a couple other teams. And I feel like what we've struggled with the most is just getting stops.
Facts.
And I think, like you said, when you mentioned earlier, he's got a lot of experience. He's played with, or he's not played with, he's coached a lot of superstars. He's going to know, I think, where to put guys in certain spots to succeed. And he's going to be a better adjuster than Monty. I think he's better than Monty, to be honest. Like, I'm not trying to take anything that he did for us away. I appreciate all that he, did to shift the culture and everything like that. But he's just, not that great at making adjustments in the playoffs. And he kind of gets a little stubborn with his rotations and stuff like that. I think Vogel's going to be a little bit more adaptive to those sorts of things. And like we mentioned earlier, he's won a championship. And just because, like you said, he won one championship doesn't mean he's an amazing coach that's leaps and bounds ahead of everyone else. But I think it's definitely something to look at. And his playoff record wasn't too shabby. I think it's a good fit. And a lot of people say he's a defensive guru. So if he's a defensive-minded coach, I think that's going to benefit us greatly. A lot of the things that I worried with before was defense, because the offense is no issue to me. I think we're going to get the scoring. Like, that's not a problem. Kevin Durant and Booker will do what they got to do and try to help get guys involved. But as far as making stops and trying to get the other team to stop stepping on our throat, like Denver when they go on these massive runs and we don't know how to stop it, I think he's going to actually throw different schemes at teams and put us in a better spot. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I'm feeling. But
yeah, no, 100% agree with you, man. I'm right there with you. I think you pretty much summed it up right there. Any thoughts on the off season? Any predictions, even if it's not Suns related? Like, what are you thinking, man?
Well, I don't know what they're going to do. Like, I'm very excited, though, to see what happens. Yeah. I hope we keep Kevin Young as maybe the top assistant coach. But either way, like you said, we'll support anybody that gets that position because we ultimately want them to succeed.
Facts.
But I like to see, Terrence Ross stick around. I'd like to see Warren stick around. I think Ross would just be perfect because since he's already here, I don't know if is he unrestricted or anything like that.
That's a great question, actually.
He might be restricted. If we could bring him back, I'd like that because then, I don't want us to go scrounging everywhere for a bunch of 3-point shooters and shot creators. If we got one here that we can keep around, keep him, look for some other ones on the open market to bring in as well. And I like Ross. I mean, his defense wasn't anything to write home about, but his offense was definitely there. I feel like he struggled a little bit in the playoffs, but that's just because nobody else was really stepping up. Too much inconsistency. I think if you keep a guy like that around, though, he's a nice glue piece. So just keep the good, role players around. I don't want Chris Paul to be the starter. I would like for somebody else to come in. Whether we trade Chris or we move him to the bench, those are the two options that we need to make sure happens. I don't want Chris to be the starter, not because I think he's horrible, but just because I think we need a little bit more oomph in the starting lineup. And I think he's on the tail end of his career, and I'm not trying to bag on him, but we've been there, done that. So let's get a little bit extra scoring capability and youth. So yeah, that's kind of how I'm feeling. I like Kevin being here and Devin. So those are good building blocks for any team, and the good thing about those guys is we know they can recruit. So hopefully they can lure some people in. So that's going to be helpful. But yeah, I don't want to take up too much time so others can get a chance to talk. And God bless you, brother.
Hey, God bless you, man. AZ Sports Corner, like I've told you before, man, you should seriously start your own podcast because you are great. I agreed with a good chunk of everything you just said, man. Definitely got to get you back on the show, too.
I snuck away from work to get on here.
Let's go.
Hey,
if your bosses get mad at you, just point the blame my way. I'll take the heat for you, all right?
I appreciate it, man.
God bless you, man. Thanks for being here.
See ya.
Have a good one. AZ Sports Corner spitting facts right there. I hope I'm saying your name right. Paulo C Media says Terrence Ross is an unrestricted free agent. Well, hopefully he can stay. We're going to bring on one more guest, guys, just real quick. If you want to join the show, make sure to come with some facts here.
5 minutes later.
Then we'll react to an Ayton trade, and we'll probably wrap it up. So I'm going to bring on Vote for Pedro. What's going on?
Hey, what up, man?
Hey, what's
It's
up, man?
P-Dog.
Awesome.
Man. Appreciate everything you do, man. Thank you so much for providing such excellent content like you always do. You're the bomb, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, P-Dog. How's it going, man? Talk to me here. What's going on?
Yeah, Pedro, hey, mucho gusto, Brendan. I'm excited, man. I wanted Frank Vogel. I was like, yeah, he's experienced. I did not want Doc Rivers, man. I'm like, hey, anybody but Doc Rivers, and hopefully we're able to retain Kevin Young. But I'm excited, man, because one of the main issues that I had with the team was we should have did more on the defensive end, and just got more turnovers and created more opportunities to score points. Defense creates offense, right? So
Facts.
I'm excited. And as far as DeAndre Ayton goes, get rid of his ass. I'm done with him. Like he put this time base through so much. His rookie year, especially with that diuretic crap, and
Oh, yeah.
get rid of him. Get rid of him. I'm
You're
done.
a real
He just
one
cut
if
the
you
cord.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and he quit, dude. He legit quit on us, man.
Yeah.
His body language, his whole funky attitude, like separate business from the personal. You know what I mean? Just because you don't like
Facts, man.
somebody, you got to work with people you hate sometimes, dude. Learn.
P-Dog, you know that
on, man.
too, man. Like, I have a second job outside of this. I have to work with people I don't like. You know what I mean? It's real, man. And
Then
you're
you got to
getting
grind.
paid-
You just got to
You're
handle
getting
it.
paid millions of dollars, man. You got to go out there and perform each and every single night, man.
To play a child's game. You know how
Yeah.
many people would kill to have that type of opportunity?
Preach,
Shoot,
man.
a lot of us would. And it's disheartening, because a lot of us believe in the fool, Like I kept defending him, but I'm like, at
Same
this point,
here,
we
man.
should have just drafted Trae Young. Huh? We should have drafted Trae Young.
Exactly, man.
I'm over it, dude. I'm over the whole DA thing. I think we could actually get a pretty decent return from him, or for him. And I want guys that want to be here, Get rid of the
Preach.
duds and keep the studs.
Preach, man. P-Dog, any final thoughts? Because I got someone else waiting in the wings. Any predictions, hot takes? What are you thinking, man? Even if it's not Suns related, like just anything.
Keep the faith, Planet Orange. We've been through
Yes,
so
sir.
much, we're in this till the end. We're gonna win a title. Come heck over
Preach.
high water, we're gonna win a title, man. And just believe in the new coaching staff, and hopefully we're able to make a trade with Detroit. Give them Shamit, paying for some coke and some chips. It's home. Get rid of them. I'm sorry. Just
P-Dog,
get rid of the
you're
money, guys.
man. You're the
You're
man,
the man. Thank you,
P-Dog.
brother.
I appreciate you being here, brother.
Peace, brother. Thank you.
Take care, man. Later. That was awesome. I loved the positivity and I loved the realness there from P-Dog. All right, y'all. We're gonna bring in. I hope I'm saying your name right, Devin. Devin, are you here?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, man? Talk to me.
Hey, we need like James Harden. We need to get rid of Chris Paul.
Okay, all right. That's the first James Harden vote here on the show. Although I think I saw it a little bit in the chat. Why do you think James Harden would be a good fit here?
Chris Paul is old. I saw James Harden play against the Celtics, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he played good.
Yeah.
So I think we might need James Harden.
Any thoughts on Frank Vogel or the Suns off season? Like, were you excited about the Frank Vogel hire?
Oh yeah, I was yelling when we got him. I literally painted my room orange and purple.
That's awesome, man. I need to do that with my walls back here, man. That's a cool room, man. How long you been a Suns fan for?
All my life, and I've been watching you all my life, so
Thanks, man.
it's the best, bro.
Appreciate that, man. I appreciate that, man.
But we need James Harden on our team. DeAndre Ayton needs to build some muscle or get out of Phoenix.
Yeah, definitely, man. Any final thoughts? Because I got one more person waiting in the wings.
We need to win a championship.
Preach.
We can't be people laugh at Phoenix Suns, and we need to win.
Absolutely, man. Championship or bust. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you, man. Go Suns.
Go Suns.
All right, we're going to try one more time with Suns' biggest fan. Then we got one more person waiting in the wings. Suns' biggest fan, are you here?
Yes, I am here.
Hey, what's up, man? You've been on the show before. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Good, man. Any thoughts on Frank Vogel? Any thoughts on the Suns off season? Just talk to me, man.
I feel like he will be like more tougher than Monty. Will He'll bring the more toughness to the Suns than Monty did,
Thank you.
and also like he does have that playoff experience and brought the Lakers to a championship.
Absolutely. You reminded me of that.
Yep.
That Frank Vogel will be sort of tougher on his players, maybe on the media as well, and the referees. You know what I mean? I feel like Frank Vogel is not the kind of person that would shot. You know how Monty Williams rarely did that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like Frank Vogel will call out a referee or take a fine or get a tech. So I agree with you, man.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the Suns off season or anything? I mean, stage is yours.
Well, I hope we get another backup point guard because Chris Paul is getting older, and we definitely need to improve in our bench. And
Absolutely.
God help us all if DeAndre improves this offseason.
Yes.
Because if he doesn't, we're gonna get him out of Phoenix.
I've been very critical on DeAndre Ayton. I've had my very, interesting thoughts on Ayton. I give it a slight chance he returns. So, Suns' biggest fan. I appreciate you being here, man. You've been on the show before. Thanks again for being here, man. And we'll talk to you soon. All right.
All right.
Have a good one, man. Thanks again.
You too, man.
All right, y'all. We're going to bring on one more person, and then we will move on to a small DeAndre Ayton trade rumor. And I don't know. We'll just talk about whatever after that. So we're going to bring on the QC, who's got a dope setup over there. QC,
Hey.
how you doing, man?
I'm great. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
All
you got
right,
a good setup over there, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So I wanted to start by saying that if Monty would have stayed, I wouldn't have been upset at all. And then to see Monty go and then to watch all those candidates start slipping away, I'm like, oh, hold on. Wait, what's going on here?
Yeah.
I was like, are we really going to like hire a rookie head coach in our third must-win year in a row? It just kind of felt like,
Yep.
yeah, it felt like everything was kind of out of control for a minute. But I like Vogel coming in, defensive guy. It's what we need. We need a hard-nosed guy who can bring defense to the table. We already have Book and KD. The rest is what I'm worried about. So
yeah, absolutely, man. No, I 100% agree with you. I think you nailed it on the head saying, oh, are we really going to bring in an assistant coach? And I love the way you worded it, like our third year, like when we need to win, crucial year to win. You know what I mean?
yeah,
yeah, I 100% agree with you, man.
And
go ahead.
If DeAndre Ayton goes somewhere else, just prepare to see him succeed there.
Probably.
We like to, and if he does, we always like to talk as if that would have been the case if he stayed too, and that's just not how it works. Cards fall how they fall in different situations. So, but we'll see what happens, man. Go Suns!
Man, absolutely.
Hey, love your channel, man. I appreciate you, and have a good one.
Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you, brother. Take care, man.
You too.
All right, the QC spitting facts right there. Dope setup too. Well, guys, I think what we're going to do now is react to a DeAndre Ayton trade rumor because we're almost at the 1 hour mark. I feel like we've all, including you guys, we've all nailed this head coaching hire on the head. There's only so much we can really talk about with Frank Vogel. First off, just to recap, I appreciate you guys letting me kind of react slowly to this because, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I slept in today. I was just drinking my coffee. I had to get the thumbnail made. I was literally reacting to this sort of in live time. And I know I was kind of one of the last Suns podcasters, creators, whatever you want to call me, to go live, but I still wanted to go live and give my thoughts. So first off, thank you to everybody that also joined, and you guys were all spitting facts, and I appreciate you guys joining. But now we're going to react to a DeAndre Ayton trade rumor. But before we do that, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything on this hiring. I'm just double checking with like Woj and Shams and the Twitterverse and all that. Again, if you guys are just joining, Frank Vogel is the Phoenix Suns' newest head coach. And according to a lot of the sources out there, it's a 5-year, $31 million deal. Ooh, we can also talk about the Monty Williams thing. I have some thoughts on the Monty Williams Detroit Pistons thing. And also, again, we're still getting details and all that with the reports, but apparently David Fizdale is has a strong connection to Suns GM James Jones, who he coached as a player from the Miami Heat from 2008 to 2014. So he could potentially be a assistant coach for the Phoenix Suns, which I would not mind that either, because I guess he has history with Frank Vogel and James Jones and all that. So